There's a $142 billion palace hidden in plain sight, and it's not in Dubai, not in London, and not even in China. It's larger than 20 football stadiums combined, holds gold-covered walls, diamond-encrusted furniture, and is protected by a private army. And here's the crazy part. Most people have no idea it exists. But why? Who owns it? And how is this even legal? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the world's most expensive palace, one that redefines what luxury, secrecy, and power really look like. Subscribe now, because you're about to see how far wealth can really go. So, let's get into it. The palace you were never supposed to see. It's called the Al Yamama Palace, sitting quietly in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Unlike Buckingham Palace or Versailles, this one doesn't welcome tourists, doesn't host banquets for cameras, and isn't featured in history books. But its sheer size, value, and political power make all other palaces look like backyard mansions. Estimated value? Around $142 billion. That's more than the GDP of over 100 countries. So, what makes it so expensive? Let's start with the most obvious: the land. The palace sits on thousands of acres of prime desert real estate that was transformed into lush gardens using advanced irrigation tech flown in from Japan and Israel. Some say the water systems alone cost over $11 billion just to make the desert bloom. But the real jaw-dropper is inside the palace. Now here's the thing, there are no official blueprints, no official photos. What we know comes from leaks, diplomats, and a few international guests who somehow got a glimpse inside. What they saw? Absolutely surreal. The palace reportedly has over 3,000 rooms, 17 kitchens, 200+ marble bathrooms, and a fleet of private elevators. But these aren't just luxury rooms. We're talking gold-threaded curtains, walls embedded with sapphires, and entire rooms plated in 24-karat gold. There's a private hospital inside, not a clinic, a full hospital, with its own surgical suite, ICU, and laboratory, in case the king doesn't feel like driving to a public one. There's also a private airport runway built inside the palace complex. Not just a helipad, a full runway long enough for jets. Because if you're going to rule one of the richest nations on Earth, traffic is optional. And get this, the palace has a zoo, but not just any zoo. It includes white tigers, rare Arabian horses, and even mechanically cooled stables to keep the animals comfortable in desert heat. Yep, the horses get air conditioning. Still think Versailles? Still think Versailles is fancy? To understand this palace, we need to look at the man behind it, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and more recently, his son and crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS. When you're sitting on the world's second largest oil reserves, building a $142 billion palace isn't just a dream, it's an announcement of wealth, of power, of absolute, unshakable dominance. In the 1980s, the Saudi royal family began quietly acquiring land in northern Riyadh. Slowly, without public attention, the area was transformed into a palace so massive it could host entire state visits without a single guest needing to leave the property. This wasn't just about comfort, it was about control. The palace includes internal communication centers, security command rooms, and intelligence offices, making it more of a royal fortress than a simple home. So how exactly do you spend $142 billion on a single palace? It starts with turning miles of barren desert into a green oasis, a transformation that alone costs between $10 to $15 billion, involving artificial lakes, imported soil, and irrigation systems from across the globe. Then comes the structure itself, with over $40 billion poured into construction, using imported marble, handcrafted wood, and custom architectural designs by the world's most elite firms. The interiors? That's another story. With $35 billion spent on Persian silk rugs, chandeliers dripping with diamonds, and even original artwork rumored to include pieces by Leonardo da Vinci, this isn't just decoration, it's wealth embedded in every inch. To protect it all, $20 billion goes into next-level security, facial recognition, anti-drone systems, bulletproof everything, and underground escape routes. Add a private jet fleet and runway tucked within palace grounds, costing up to $7 billion, and you still haven't accounted for the palace's annual $2 billion maintenance bill. Over 700 full-time staff, from chefs and florists to doctors and military-grade security, work behind the scenes 24/7 to keep the fantasy alive. It's not just luxury, it's a full-scale operation built to function like a private kingdom. Here's the twist, you'll never get in. Unlike Buckingham Palace, which has tours and public events, Al Yamama is off-limits to nearly everyone. Even world leaders get escorted through specific areas, carefully controlled. No cameras allowed. Why? Because this palace isn't about showing off. It's about privacy, power, and control. It's designed to be invisible, and that makes it even more powerful. Al Yamama isn't just a residence. It's a government hub, a medical facility, a military post, a business center, and a fortress all rolled into one. Think of it this way. The US has the White House, Camp David, and the Pentagon. Saudi Arabia has all of that under one roof. In fact, during national emergencies or global summits, the palace is used as the command center for the entire country. It's equipped to go into full lockdown with independent power, water, food, and communications. If everything else in Riyadh shuts down, this place keeps running like nothing happened. What's a $142 billion palace without a few toys? The royal garages are said to hold over 1,000 luxury vehicles. Not your average Lamborghini collection. We're talking one-of-a-kind Rolls-Royces, diamond-plated Bentleys, gold-wrapped Maybachs, and even a custom Mercedes SUV that shoots drones? Yeah, drones, from the car. And unlike the garages at Versailles or Buckingham Palace, these are fully air-conditioned with automated lifts that rotate the cars like a showroom. The vehicles are detailed daily, even if they're never driven. The $3 billion dining room, one of the most talked about parts of the palace, is the state dining hall. Rumors say it cost over $3 billion to build and decorate. Why? Because every inch of it is a statement. The ceiling is coated in gold leaf imported from Italy. The floor is cut from single slabs of white marble flown in from Greece. And the table? It can seat over 500 guests and is carved from African ebony, rumored to be the most expensive dining table ever created. Diplomats have said eating there feels like stepping into a real-life movie set, except every prop is worth more than your house. Security? Think military-grade everything. Let's just say you're not hopping the fence here. The perimeter is guarded by armed personnel, infrared sensors, biometric access systems, and motion-triggered drones. There are 2 separate no-fly zones around the entire palace complex. Even satellite images are censored or blurred. And yes, the walls are bomb-resistant, not just the outer gates. The entire structure is designed to withstand military assaults. Think of it as a combination of a fortress, a mansion, and a classified military base, except built for royalty. The palace's darker side. With this kind of money and power comes criticism. While the palace glitters with gold, critics point out the contrast between its opulence and the poverty that exists within parts of the region. Activists argue that spending billions on a single residence in a country where youth unemployment and housing shortages still exist is, well, hard to justify. But from the royal family's perspective, this palace isn't just luxury, it's strategy. A way to show strength, stability, and dominance, both to the world and within their own kingdom. Whether you agree or not, the message is clear. This isn't just a palace. It's a statement of absolute control. So what does a $142 billion palace really say about the world we live in? It's not just about showing off wealth. This kind of structure goes far beyond that. It's a statement, a message carved into stone, wrapped in silk, and sealed with gold. Every chandelier isn't just for lighting up a room, it's there to remind you of status. Every slab of imported marble, every hand-carved door, every gold-plated faucet, it all says one thing loud and clear: we don't play by the same rules. This isn't just about living in comfort, it's about creating something that stands as a symbol of power, control, and legacy that stretches across generations. While the rest of the world gets excited about celebrity homes, private jets, or the latest $200 million super yacht, this palace remains quiet, hidden, and untouched. No Instagram tours, no flashy headlines, just a silent, massive fortress of unimaginable luxury sitting behind locked gates. And maybe that's what makes it even more fascinating. It's not screaming for attention, and that's exactly why it grabs yours. Because when something this big, this expensive, and this mysterious stays out of sight, you can't help but wonder, what's really going on behind those walls? It's not just the most expensive residence ever built. It might be the most secretive symbol of wealth the world has ever seen. So this is it. Watch the next one. You won't believe what's coming. And hit subscribe This is just the beginning.